What can you tell us? Is Eric Schmidt right in saying that video has displaced television? Do the numbers support that?
I don't think it's displaced it in any way, shape, or form. I mean, clearly what we see is that the Internet, however you want to look at it in terms of usage, traffic, advertising dollars, the Internet has made huge gains over the last 10 years at the expense of a lot of the traditional media. But broadcast television, cable television continue to be a great business and continue to have very good growth rates. And we'll see another data point in the next week or two when the TV networks get all the advertisers together for the upfronts, and we'll see, you know, north of $9 billion be spent on broadcast and cable television. Just amazing.
Right, a fraction of that comparatively at the New Fronts event last week for the advertising dollars for digital video. This all coming, though, as we hear in the Financial Times, a report that YouTube's ready to unveil paid channels, paid subscription channels, possibly upwards of $1.99 a month. Is YouTube ready to make that paid jump the way that we've seen paid subscription services like Netflix and Hulu?
I absolutely think they are. You know, YouTube has approximately 1 billion unique visitors a month, 1 billion globally. That is just extraordinary. So clearly the audience is there. Google is generating revenue off of YouTube through advertising, and clearly the next step of that business model is subscription to get certain of those viewers to pay for access to certain channels, and I think the audience is there to kind of support that.
Speaking of subscriptions, you've done some work on Netflix and Amazon and all the original shows that some of these new players are starting to introduce. What does that ultimately mean for the traditional TV players that have made a lot of money selling their shows to the likes of Netflix?
You're right. At first, the Netflix of the world, I think investors were concerned, you know, traditional media investors were concerned that Netflix and Hulu's and Amazon's would really be a real competitive problem for the traditional media companies, the big entertainment companies. But in fact, it's been a net positive for them because the Viacoms, the CBS, the Disneys of the world, they have been able to license their content, primarily their library content, to these streaming video on demand providers like Netflix for hundreds of millions of dollars over the last couple of years. It's been a newfound revenue stream, if you will, for some of these big entertainment companies. So to the extent that the Netflix of the world maybe focus a little bit more on their in-house proprietary programming, maybe that'll mean less subscription revenue for some of the media companies.